Hi class, in this video I am going to go over the portfolio assignment. The portfolio assignment is our final major assignment. We don't have a final exam in this class, so this assignment takes the place of a final exam. That's why it is worth 150 points. It is also worth a lot of points because it consists of 3 different assignments. So basically what you're going to submit with your portfolio is a revision of a previously graded essay, a self-evaluation letter where you discuss your progress throughout the semester, and a final draft of a persuasive essay, which is our argumentative essay number 3. So it's going to be the third essay that we do in class. So I might refer to it as essay number 3 or as persuasive essay. In any case, it's the third essay that we are writing in this class. And I do want to point out that each one is worth 50 points because they are all equally important. So whenever you are working on this assignment, make sure that you submit all of them, because I have students who sometimes don't submit the letter or they don't submit the revision, and that really brings down their grade because all of these assignments are weighed equally. So they are all worth 150 points together. So it's very important that you complete the portfolio by completing these 3 things. I'm going to go over each component of the portfolio. That way you can understand that it is 3 separate assignments, but you're going to turn them all in a portfolio. Back in the day when we were in person and face-to-face classes, you would submit all of these assignments, all of these 3 assignments in a manila folder. But because we are online, you're just uploading them all together to this assignment. And I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of this video. That way you don't mistakenly only submit 1 file or 2 files or anything like that. So the first part is the revised essay. Now when it comes to the revised essay, what you want to do is you want to select an essay that you've previously done and you want to revise it for improvement. Now, whenever we say revision, it doesn't mean just going to fix the commas and add a sentence here or there. We're talking about making substantial changes. So basically, you want to take everything you've learned through the entire semester and go back to one of those essays and really improve it. Your choices for essays that you can revise are these right here. So you can select the diagnostic. You can select the first essay, which was the literacy narrative. You can also select the argumentative essay, which was essay number 2, or you can select the common reader response. So any of those you can go ahead and revise for your portfolio. Typically, I would suggest to pick the one that you feel you can improve the most on. Like for example, the diagnostic, we did that at the very beginning of the semester. So you might have learned a lot from then. Now you might know how to write a summary. You should know how to write a response. So this one would be a really good one to go ahead and fix and improve. However, like I said, you can go ahead and revise any one of these. You only have to select one. So try to select the one that you have the most that you can fix, because you don't want to select one where you got like a 98 and there's really not a lot that you can improve on. Try to select one where you feel like you can really change things here or there. And in order for me to know how much you have changed, obviously I'm going to look at both the original and the revised version, but you're also supposed to highlight all of the changes you have made, okay? So when you are typing your essay, go ahead and use the highlighter tool in Word and highlight everything you've changed. Even if it's just a comma, go ahead and highlight it. If you added a whole paragraph, go ahead and highlight it. If you added 2 pages, highlight every single one of those pages, because this helps me to visually see everything you've changed. So definitely go ahead and make sure that you do that, because if you don't do that, whenever we get to the rubric, right here, I'm going to give you a no. So this criteria right here is asking you to highlight the changes you've made in the revised essay. And if you need any help with revision, you can always visit the ARC Tutoring Center, and you can go ahead and access their website by clicking on the ARC tab here on Canvas, or you can go ahead and email me and I will be happy to either meet with you or discuss it through email. Next, we have the self-evaluation letter. The self-evaluation letter is about you. So in some cases that makes it easier, but I know that for some people writing about themselves is a little bit challenging. So it does require some thought. And basically the whole point of the self-evaluation letter is to reflect and to think critically about the semester. So think about how you've improved, think about your strengths and weaknesses, and also think about assignments we've done in the class, readings we've had. Think about the whole entire semester. It's a comprehensive reflection, right? So think about everything and then go ahead and write a letter where you discuss what you have learned, how you've improved, and how you will apply it in the future. One of the things that I do ask you to address is self-knowledge, content knowledge, rhetorical knowledge, and critical knowledge. And you can find information on those right here in assembling a portfolio and writing a reflective essay. That's like a chapter in a book that talks about these types of knowledge. But basically, in a nutshell, self-knowledge is knowledge about yourself. So this could include examples that have to do with the writing process, revision, reading, your time management skills, your study skills. This one is all about you as a student. Content knowledge has to do with the class, the assignments, the readings, the quizzes, all of that stuff. So basically talk a little bit about how the assignments helped you grow, how you learned things like about thesis statements, summarizing, signal phrases, all of that stuff. Now keep in mind that I did design this course myself, and I always have people who sometimes they lie about assignments or they make up information, and I always think, wait a minute, we didn't do that assignment. We didn't read that. So just make sure that if you have questions or you're unsure about assignments, go back and look at the syllabus or go back and look at the assignments tab on Canvas just to make sure that you provide accurate information. The next one is rhetorical knowledge, and this one has to do with the choices you've made as a writer. I always tell students that writing is all about choice and it's about the writer's choice. So think about choices that you make as a writer. For example, you have to think about your audience, the purpose, the genre. You also have to think whenever you're summarizing something, you have to decide what is the main point, but you also have to decide what are the important details, right? So that's a choice that you are making. Whenever you respond to something, you have to decide, do I agree or do I disagree with the author? That's another choice that you are making. Whenever you're writing a persuasive essay or something like a literacy narrative, you have to decide what details am I going to include? What examples from the article am I going to include? What quotes am I going to include? What signal phrase should I use to incorporate this source or this article? So all of these are choices that we make whenever we are writing. So this one right here, it asks you to think about and to discuss choices you've made as a writer that have helped you grow. Because remember, the self-evaluation is all about how you've improved, how you've grown, and why you should pass this class. Of course, I'm not saying to say in your letter that everything's perfect, that you have mastered everything. No, that's not the point. That brings us to the next one, which is critical knowledge. Critical knowledge is also about yourself, but in this case, you're going to focus on your strengths and weaknesses. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and that's why I was saying that you don't want to just say, oh, everything's perfect, I've mastered everything, I've learned everything, I'm good to go. Once I pass this class, I know everything. No, that's not the point. The point of the letter is to talk about how you've improved, why you should pass this class, what you have learned, but it's also to think about the future, right? So maybe you'll say, you know, now that I know what a thesis statement is, I'm ready to move on to English 1110, and I'm ready to write those types of essays. But you could also say, I'm still working on learning how to do research. So that's something I hope to learn a little bit more about in English 1110. Or I'm still learning how to do APA styles. So that's something that I know I'm going to need to work on in my other classes because all my other classes require it. So again, it doesn't have to be I'm perfect, I've mastered everything, I've learned everything in this class. No, it's okay to think about, things that you're still working on, especially with writing. Writing is one of those genres, it's one of those fields where you never really master it, because you can revise something 80 times and you still find something to fix. And I know that's why people hate writing, but that's also why some people love it, because there's always room for improvement. There's always something that you can improve. So remember that the point of this letter is not to show that you've mastered everything, but rather to have an honest reflection with yourself about all of these areas right here. And like I said earlier, for more information, go ahead and read this chapter. It's a file, so you can go ahead and learn about these a little bit more in detail. This right here has some questions that I highlighted that you can go ahead and incorporate in your letter. Now, of course, you don't have to answer all of these questions, but these are questions that you should strongly consider. For example, for self-knowledge, I highlighted these two questions because I think that they could be important and maybe you should address them in your self-knowledge. For rhetorical knowledge, I highlighted these. For critical knowledge, I highlighted these questions. So all of these are questions that you should consider, but the ones that I highlighted are questions that I think you should strongly consider. Of course, you don't have to answer all of them in your portfolio letter, but you should address them in some capacity, especially these two. I think these two are really, really good to figure out the conclusion. What is the most important thing I have learned in this course, and how do I expect to use what I've learned in this course in the future? If you look at the assignment specifically says to answer these two questions, right? So just remember that. For the conclusion, you want to address what you have learned, and you also want to address how you expect to use this in the future. So definitely look back at these questions when you are writing your conclusion. And I went ahead and I wrote down some other questions that you can consider. Again, you don't have to answer all of them, but these are questions to get you thinking and questions to help you brainstorm for your letter. And right here, I have a handout that shows you how to format your letter, because it should be formatted as a letter. And I tell you how to do that, and then I tell you what you should include in each paragraph as well. So definitely make sure that you refer to this so that you can see how to organize your letter and what each paragraph should contain. Finally, we have the persuasive essay. For this persuasive essay, you're going to watch a film. This semester, we are watching The Social Dilemma. Of course, other semesters, we might watch another film. So basically, the whole point of this essay is to watch the film and develop an argument from a topic in the film. The Social Dilemma deals with a lot of different topics like cybersecurity, body image, addiction to technology. We also have issues brought up that deal with the ethics of these cyber companies, social media companies as well. So you have to develop a topic from those essays. And for this essay, we are going to spend quite a bit of time working on it. So for this portfolio, you have quite a bit of time, which is why it's assigned pretty early in the semester. Not early, it's assigned, within a month before it's due, because it does require a lot, because it's 3 assignments. So for this essay, it's probably going to be the one that takes us the most out of all the portfolio assignments, because what you have to do is you have to choose a topic. Once that topic is approved by myself, then you're going to select 2 sources to use as evidence, and then you're going to write your final draft. So for this one, you're actually conducting research and you're actually going to cite an APA. So this is the type of essay that is going to get you ready for the type of writing and the type of essays that you're going to be doing in English 1110. So this essay is the transition to the next class. So like I was saying, you're going to choose a topic, and then you're going to do research and, of course, submit your final draft. When you choose a topic, there's going to be an assignment where you submit a topic and a prompt, but you have to develop an argument. So for example, body image, right? Body image is an issue that we see in the social dilemma. So your topic would be body image, and then you would develop a prompt, which is a question. So the question could be, does social media negatively impact body image? Then your thesis would be the answer to that question. So in that assignment, the topic proposal, you're going to put the topic, the prompt question, and you're going to put your thesis. So do you think that social media does have a negative impact on our body image, or do you think it does not? That's going to be the argument. So you're going to argue yes, it does, or you can argue no. After you've established what your argument is going to be, you're going to find two sources that support your argument. And I am going to have a video where it shows you how to do research on the databases. So you can definitely go ahead and consult that video. You can also use Google, but you need to make sure that you use credible sources from online, because online you can find sources that are not true and you can find a lot of false information. So we are going to learn how to evaluate sources just to make sure that all of the sources you select are credible. And then of course, the final step of this process is to submit your final draft. You also want to make sure that you scroll all the way down so that you can view the rubric. The rubric tells you how the grade is going to be determined. So it tells you what each criteria is worth. So you want to make sure that you look at it, and I divide it up between revised essay, letter, and persuasive essay. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and look at that. You also want to look at the portfolio module, because that's where you're going to see these files that I linked. And I also, so if you go to the portfolio module, I have links and I have handouts for evaluating web sources, and I have a paintball essay sample. I have the PowerPoint for developing an argumentative essay. You also want to look at the APA module, because here is where I have the videos that I was talking about for researching. I do want to mention though that the library, it kind of seems like they change their website pretty frequently. So this video probably reflects like the old version of the website. So I probably am going to go ahead and update it, but even with the updated version, if you see that it looks different than the current website, just keep in mind that they just probably updated the website again. So definitely look at all these for when it comes to evaluating sources and doing research. And then here again, you know, I have videos on APA and researching and citing and things like that. So definitely make sure that you look at this information, because it is going to be helpful. Now I'm going to show you how to submit the portfolio so that you don't mistakenly delete any files. Okay, so now I am in student view, and whenever you're ready to submit your assignment, obviously you want to go ahead and submit under portfolio. And here we have the assignment, and all you have to do is click on start assignment. Now it is very important that when you submit files, you submit them at the same time, because for example, let me show you. I'm going to choose a file and I'm going to submit this one, which is an agenda for a meeting. I'm going to click open, and I'm going to go ahead and click on agree. And then basically, in case you're wondering what this end user license agreement is for Turnitin, it is saying that I agree that this is my original work. And then you can go ahead and click on submit assignment. And it'll give you this, right? Now, if I go click on, so notice how it has the file I submitted right here. However, let's pretend this is my letter, and then the next day I finish my revised essay and I want to go ahead and submit it. So I'm going to choose a file, and I'm going to submit my agenda from March 18th. And I'm going to click on Submit Assignment. Notice how the other one got deleted and now there's only one file. So this is the issue that happens whenever you go back and submit something later. It deletes the previous one. So whenever I grade submissions, I don't see all of the files you submitted if you went back and did it later. I only see the final one. So in order to avoid any files from getting deleted, because this happens a lot where I'm grading portfolios and I tell the students, hey, I only got your revised essay, and then they tell me, oh my gosh, I submitted all the files, but they did it at different times. So as you can see, the file we just submitted got deleted because we clicked on New Attempt. So in order to avoid all that, we need to go ahead and click on Choose File, and then we need to go ahead and click on the 3 files that we want. So we would click on that one, then we would choose another file, and then we choose another file, now we can pretend we have our letter, our revised essay, and our persuasive essay. As you can see, we have all 3 files together. Now we can go ahead and click on Agree, and we can go ahead and submit our files. Now, I do want to mention that if you're using Google Drive or Office 365, that might be a little bit different. So I always suggest that if you have Google Drive or Office 365, download the file as a Word document or PDF. That way you can go ahead and submit it this way. So once you have all of these files, we can go ahead and click on Submit Assignment, and you will see that it's going to show up as all 3 files. See? So now we have all 3 files here. That's what you want. Whenever you submit an assignment, make sure that all of the files you submitted are there. If you only see one, then that means that the one you had submitted like 2 minutes ago already got deleted. Okay, so it's very, very important. Submit all of them together, because if you submit one and then you click on New Attempt and you submit another one, it's going to delete the file that you previously submitted. So this concludes our video. Please let me know if you have any questions about the portfolio or about any of the specific assignments.